Hey there, it's Rob Hatch, and this is Simple Decisions. Today I want to show you my daily sheet, the sheet that I use every single day to make sure that the work that I need to do that I've determined is most important to me is right in front of me, that it's captured and I know exactly what it is that I need to do. So let's just switch over to that for a second. I want to show you what that looks like. So there's three things that I want to talk to you about that I've covered in other videos in different ways. The first is you are the architect of your system. I have struggled for years and years looking at various planners or whatnot, and none of them quite seemed to fit the way that I needed to work. So over time, I developed this daily sheet of my own. It's not remarkably, different, except for a few simple ways that serve me better. And I use it every single day. I fill it out at the end of the day, which gets me to my second point that talked about before, which is to decide ahead of time. So at the end of the day, I pull out this sheet. I pull out yesterday's sheet or the day that I'm in that sheet, and I transfer everything. So I'm making decisions at the end of each workday about what I will be working on the next day. I've got a good handle on what I accomplished. I've got a good handle on what's important, and I'm not putting myself in the situation of having to decide first thing in the morning. I want to know ahead of time, and so that's two things that I've just talked about before. That you're the architect, so design your own. If something's not working, make something up. This is in an Excel sheet. It's really simple. If you decide ahead of time, that's sort of built into this. This is what I do. This success block here, which is also the third point, which is I set aside 2 hours of really focused time where I have no interruptions. Usually first thing in my day, after some free writing, I move right into my success block, and I have three projects. You can see right here, 1, 2, 3. Three projects that I have determined are the most important things for me to work on. And I call it my success block because if the rest of the day blows up, I know that I have had a successful day by completing those three things. Whatever other interruption might happen, I'm going to be fine. So I will take this sheet, I handwrite all of the things that are on my calendar, and I write them out here. That kinesthetic process really helps me. I write out my personal mission, my three words, which I'll talk about in another video, and my success block. And then I usually write three other projects that are going to be smaller, maybe 10, 20-minute projects on there. My on deck, this sort of a list of ongoing things that are on my plate, kind of like a to-do list, works a little different. And right here, this sort of brain section, that is my incorporated blank page that I talked about previously, of having a blank page. So this serves as my blank page. And then I just have this little section for accomplishments. But the most important thing right here, these three blocks, writing out my calendar and the three most important things that I'm going to work on in as much detail as I can, given the space up there. I write out exactly what it is that I need to work on, and that's what helps me to get going. One of the other things that I want to mention real quick is this idea of this daily sheet and having it in front of me every day. It might seem tedious to you to have to rewrite it every single day. What that does is it forces me to confront everything that's on my list. It forces me to look at and make decisions and prioritize, like I said, usually at the end of the day, about what's important for me to work on. It also cements that in my mind. If I have something stored on my phone, I'm going to forget about it because it's sort of out of sight, out of mind. That's something that happens with folks who have ADHD. We have object permanence issues, and if it's not directly in front of us, we're likely to forget it. So I like to keep things front and center for myself. So that's it. This is my daily sheet. I'm sure I'll talk about it a little bit more. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments. I'm Rob Hatch. This has been Simple Decisions.